Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Monday, August 31st, 11:15 p.m. Mountain Time 2020. Over 250,000 people in Louisiana without power for the coming weeks, if not months. But the big story, cold front brings snow to Wyoming, freeze warnings issued. Take a look at the facts. Keep calm. It's grand solar minimum time. Summer snow in Montana. Yes. A red flag warning has been issued for most of Montana east of the Continental Divide for Tuesday and Wednesday. The flakes were flying on the final day of August. The mountains of western Montana above 7,000 feet had a light accumulation. Light snow and light rain fell on the wildfires as well. Thank goodness for the grand solar minimum reprieve. Summer snow in Colorado forecast tonight. And let's get back to the snow in Wyoming. Take a look at the pass here. A cold front has brought some late summer snow to Wyoming. Wyoming Department of Transportation webcam cameras along Wyoming 22 over Teton Pass showed snow falling Monday afternoon with some accumulations along the side of the highway. Take a look at them facts. Let's check out the weather.gov. Excessive rain for south central U.S. Tropical Depression 15 in the picture. We'll get to that. Heavy rain may lead to flash flooding along the south of a stationary front Tuesday and Wednesday from northeast Texas into the mid-Mississippi Valley. This area is well saturated from the rainfall associated with Hurricane Laura, which came up the pipeline here. So big heads up in the green region. Additional rain will likely be straight runoff because of the saturation. Tropical Depression 15 formed off the Carolinas and will bring a risk for rip currents through Tuesday. But there is another storm coming for us. Now, some Louisiana residents won't have power for weeks, which is tweaks for many, if not months, after Hurricane Laura. And they keep showing the same exact shop. That must be the most damaged. We're going to get to the facts at poweroutage.us in just a moment, if you could bear with us. Hello. 15 years after Hurricane Katrina devastated Louisiana, the state faces another long, grueling recovery in the wake of Hurricane Laura. Laura destroyed parts of Louisiana power grid after making landfall Thursday as the strongest hurricane to strike the state since 1856. That's like the end of the Maunder minimum. The storm struck with 150-mile-per-hour winds, shredded houses, and contributed to at least 17 deaths in Louisiana and Texas. Our prayers go out to all those involved. The damage was so extensive that some infrastructure needs to be rebuilt from scratch, and that would be the grid, said Energy and Power Company that serves Louisiana and Texas. And that could mean weeks or months of powerless misery in the humid Louisiana heat, expected to reach 103 to 105 heat index tomorrow. Now, according to the officials, we expect the recovery to be as difficult and challenging as we have ever faced in the past. And this is just the beginning, the entrance into the grand solar minimum, and some of the effects and the lack of response from the powers that be. Once again, over 270,000 people in Louisiana without power currently in the aftermath of Hurricane Laura. 42,000 in Texas, the nexus of the schmexus, and 12,244 in Cali just because they suck. Hawaii has 9,000 power outages. 6,400 in North Kakalaki. And we're not even that tacky. So there's that. Now, tropical update. The National Hurricane Center is monitoring a new tropical depression plus 2 other areas for potential development. Tropical depression number 15 is really not a worry. The 2020 hurricane season continues to be record-breaking on the heels of last week's devastating Hurricane Laura. We just covered some of the devastation moments ago. The National Hurricane Center is closely watching new tropical depressions and 2 additional areas for possible development. And guess what? So is Diamond. And we're going to stick with Diamond's forecast over national hurricane anything, ever. Tropical Depression 15 is a non-event. It may cause some quick rip currents, but it's going to move out here and head over towards England. God bless them. What we need to worry about is disturbance number 1, 70% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours, hours of powers. Showers and thunderstorms have increased this evening in association with a broad area of low pressure over the central Caribbean Sea. However, satellite-derived winds indicate earlier today that there is no closed circulation as of present. Thank God. Environmental conditions are expected to gradually become more conducive for development, and a tropical depression is likely to form during the next couple of days. While the system moves westward at about 15 to 20 miles per hour, interests in Jamaica, northern Nicaragua, Honduras, Belize, and Guatemala, and the Yucatan Peninsula should monitor the progress of this disturbance with wide eyes. Yes, formation chance in the next 2 days, 70%. Formation through the next 5 days, 80%. So this baby is going to do something, and we will report on it. Seismic update. There are lots of tremors of note, all intracraton, not associated with major plate boundaries. We have boomers on the New Madrid here. 2.7 in Misery and Steele. We just had a 3.5 in Arkansas the other day. We had a big boomer kick off here in Denio, Nevada, 3.5 boomer. Up here in the Kamchatka, associated with volcanic activity, 5.6 in Palana, Russia. And on and on. Take a look at this intracraton here in Russia, 4.4. A boomer up here, 4.6 in Afghanistanish. We have the mid-ocean ridges and the earth swelling due to the waning magnetosphere and the increased cosmic rays pumping themselves into the poles, 6.2 in Chagos Archipelago region. More mid-ocean ridge activity as the earth spreads, 5.8 in the Pacific mid-ridge. And on and on. Hawaii, Uptick. Yes, we're waiting for that giant ocean at the bottom of Kilauea to phreatically boil over and give us a big puff. And then we'll pass. More information coming from Iceland. IcelandGeology.net. Ongoing earthquake swarm in Kjurtjuvik and Reykjanes volcano boundaries. On the 29th of August, an ongoing earthquake swarm in Kjurtjuvik volcano and the Reykjanes volcano increased. And we've been looking at this, and this is the area of most concern. We predicted a large VEI 4 eruption from here anytime. We're just waiting for it to fill up and go boom. And this type of swarm is indicative of magma moving into the region. So there's that. Worldwide Volcano News Update. No real volcanic explosions of note, but we have increased activity at Fuego, standard activity at Sabancaya, puffing and passing to 26,000 feet. Fuego is booming to 15,000. We have Abico, volcanic ash advisories, flight levels of 10,000. Reventador, Popo, Sangay, Sabancaya, Fuego, Manam, back in the picture. Flight level 15,000, 150. And Coppahue, will Coppahue in Argentina with continuing ash emissions. We also have Pacaya. Yes, 2 lava flows in Guatemala. Hello. You can see them from 100 miles away. Space Weather News update. We are waiting for a major seismic unrest. We're talking about magnitude 7.4 to 8.5 during the solar polar reversal, which will happen anytime in the next coming weeks as we enter solar cycle 25 and the sun continues its uptick in output. Now, take a look. We've had some extreme activity up in the A range because of an active region turning around the limb. Additionally, if we come look at Discover Solar Wind, we had a plasma uptick here, which drove the solar wind speed up to above 600 kilometers. And that is the first time in months, but we're going to get to that. So we went into minor geomagnetic storm here over the last 24 hours, 2 big pulses, and now we're dropping back down. We also were in GOES electron flux for the second time after we reported on it last night. This is internal charging of satellites, went back down, came back up again a little higher than it did yesterday. And so there could be some perturbations to information up in the cloud there, or maybe even cell phones, etc. And here we can see that massive internal charging that graph describes. This is that huge charging event that we're talking about, that we taught you about last night. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please come look at these graphs, read underneath about internal charging, and then do your own research. We don't have that much time. because different people are at different levels. Now what we're seeing here is storm time empirical ionospheric correction in the model. We're seeing a slight perturbations, but nothing that would give us pause for anything spectacular. But I want to bring you over here to the daily solar wind at SOHO, which is solon.info, and you can see here what we discussed almost a week ago, how the flexure point between solar cycle 24 and 25 is drawn right here, in my opinion, which is this downwards W is the flexure point exactly, and that would be June 8th, 06, 08. Am I looking at that correctly? Somewhere like that. Somewhere in that time frame. There's no reason we're right, and we don't care if we're correct or not. We're just telling you what the telemetry shows about the conditions, which leads to the determination of those cycles. That's it. Now, Arctic air delivers significant summer snow to the higher elevations of Europe, as we predicted yesterday. Also, we predicted the snow in the west, which we just showed you happened. So the Arctic air delivers significant summer snow to the higher elevations of Europe. Record-breaking low temperatures have swept Western Europe of late, with the final week of August delivering significant summer snow to the Alps and the Pyrenees, particularly above 6,500. And here you can see quite a significant dumper. That's like 8-10 inches. Hello. This was the scene at the Matterhorn, which straddles Switzerland-Italy border. That's way south, near the Zugspitze. No less, which is not normal activity because this is the peak of the summer. What a bummer. Freezing walkers rescued from Scottish mountains as they thought global warming and Al Gore were correct. But real field temperatures plummeted to 14 Fahrenheit, which is a nipple blistering minus 10 C. I'll tell you what, if you don't have multiple layers or down, you're fluxed. And if you think it's summer and you're just going to hike around the Cairngorm, hello. Braemar and Aberdeen mountain rescue teams were involved in a cold weather rescue at the Cairn Toll Saturday night, Scotland's fourth highest mountain. A group of walkers became lost in the Cairn Toll in the wee hours of Saturday morning during a 24-hour hike from the Cairngorm. And we're going to pause it here because we have alarms going off. Motion sensors on the perimeter were a false event, only the dog gremlin coming back on point. Now back to the freezing walkers rescued. Mountain rescue reportedly teams struggled with the wild weather, but eventually they managed to rescue the walkers who were found wet and cold and tired, with one even hypothermic. Proper prior planning prevents piss-poor performance when you go into the Cairngorm in the middle of summer of Bummer 2020. And that is tonight's first boom and almost the last boom of the night. Rare and surprise snowfall on Cape Town's Table Mountain sees cableway open early. Hello, South Africa. Snow settled on Table Mountain, Cape Town over the weekend as a fierce late-season Antarctic blast tore through South Africa. The Table Mountain Aerial Cableway is a cable car transportation system offering visitors a 5-minute ride to the peak and a sneak peek at the Tweak, which is the grand solar minimum. It was due to open on Tuesday, September 1st, but thanks to the recent surprise snowfall, the cableway opened early to allow folks a chance to enjoy the rare dusting. The cableway company wrote to Facebook, "We are so excited about the snowfall that we've opened 2 days early. This allows you to also experience this winter wonderland on Table Mountain and really fat giant rats." Or whatever the hell that is. Now get out there! Full corn moon, Cornholio, on September 1st to 2nd. That's not tonight. That's tomorrow night. But you can get the preview by going out and looking up. It's that simple. Now, this is not the harvest moon because it's a very rare occurrence where the full moon boom, the corn moon boom, is on the 1st or 2nd of September, putting it 21 days away from the solstice this year. And the next full moon will be on October 1st, which will be the harvest moon. The harvest moon is the full moon that falls closest to the autumnal equinox, the vernal equinox, so we say. And that happens on the 22nd of September, a September to remember. Now, the full corn moon, September 1st to 2nd, actually is the fullest around 2 a.m. tomorrow night, which will be on the early morning of the 2nd in my region. Tonight, September 1st to 2nd, 2020, presents the third and final full moon of our Northern Hemisphere summer, or Southern Hemisphere winter. That is, it's the third of the 3 full moons that fall between June 20th solstice and September 22nd equinox. It's not a harvest moon, and I explain why. So we're not even going to get into that because these people will make it more confusing than you could ever imagine. Hope you got something out of the video. We have huge fat rats on the snow in the summer of Bama. Do you have your face mask on? I don't. And that's a boom. To knowledge. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. Thank you to all of our one-time donors. Not a lot these days, but there are many, many people hooking us up on Patreon. And you could too. I'm going to start to do a lot of exclusive content over there. So if you're picking up what I'm putting down and you want some exclusive content, become a Patreon and tell me what exclusive content you want, and I will deliver. Tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to be doing an interview with Ben Davidson, and we're going to be talking about censorship. And so please check that out. We'll premiere that tomorrow night around 8 p.m. Click one of the boxes showing up around you here. Over there. Still haven't gotten it. It's up there and over there and some down there. And gain more knowledge. Because the most important weapon against a corrupt system is an informed public. And that would be you. Be safe. We love you. That's a boom. To being informed.